Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I have been fooling around with some pigments that I got from Just Resin, and I started thinking, can I do a bloom with them? So that's what we're here to do today. I didn't mix up my colors yet because I thought maybe it would be important for you to see how much I'm mixing up. So let's go ahead and get pouring. I'm going to try to do about 1 ounce each in each of these cups. And I'm gonna pour my resin in the mold. And you just want enough resin to cover the bottom of the mold. And I think this is the hibiscus mold from Pouring Your Heart Out. And I mixed up 6 ounces of resin. So I'm hoping that's enough. Pouring it into the additional cups sometimes uses up a little of your resin. I don't like to scrape the sides just in case something's not mixed, because if you get a little unmixed piece, then it will not cure properly. It won't get hard, and you don't want that. We'll let it spread while we mix our colors though. So first, I have Pearl X Duo Aqua Blue. I'm going to add my usual amount of that here. Just going to take the stick, put that in it. I was just thinking, I hope you saw that. Sometimes I work too close to myself and you can't see what I'm doing. All right. And this powder mixes fairly well. You just want to make sure you mix in whichever mica or powder that you're using so you don't get any lumps. All right, so now I'm using from Just Resin, and this is Sailor Blue. And I'm going to use a good bit of this. Normally I would just take the tip in, dab it lightly and use that. But I want it to be heavy. So I'm going to just play around with it a minute. Now you notice I'm still not putting a lot, right? Still not doing a lot. It's still just a little bit. But you will be amazed with these. You don't need much to color it. And this is an opaque pigment, so it is heavier than a translucent pigment. And that's what got me thinking when I was working on another project. It might work, might. We will see. But I am also doing white. So if it fails, if it blobs, if it just doesn't move right, not a big deal. And I'm trying to get it the texture that I would my white, and it looks like I'm there because you can't see through the stick. All right, today for my white I am using Bloom, but you can use any white product you want, Craft and Cast, Ocean White. I don't generally use Sinkers, but you could do that. Pinata Alcohol Ink, the white. I like that, but if you want a 3D bloom, it doesn't work as well. All right, and I just want to add a drop of this. I'm just letting it come to the top. All right. And give it a mix, make sure I have enough of it in there. I also have been letting my resin warm up, and we'll check the temperature of it after I'm done mixing the bloom in. I'm trying to decide whether I need a little more. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that should be colored enough white. Oh, I said we were going to take the temperature. Let's take the temperature. All right, we are at 32 degrees Celsius, so that's a good temperature. I just want to encourage my resin to go into the little points. This one spot, it's not quite there yet. It's going to give it a little shove. Everywhere else it looks fine, so it looks like we got the right layer of resin. Now I am This is technically a dirty pour. However, I'm not very good at pouring with the cups. Sometimes I get blobbies by pouring with the cups because I put too much in some spots. So I'm going to use piping bags, and I'm going to do the colors separately. Because also sometimes with a dirty pour, I don't get the all the colors to show up, you know, when you pour it into one cup. For me, that's a little trickier. So I just prefer to do it all one at a time. I'm not going to wrap them up yet. I'm going to wait, and I forgot my Pampers baby wipes because I'm already getting sticky, and I don't like getting sticky everywhere. Get this out of my way. All right, so now I'm going to put my white in its piping bag. I use 6-ounce cups, 8-inch piping bags, in case you were interested in trying them. I do think they're easier for blooms because I find, for me, I get less blobs. So if you're having a blobbing problem pouring, try a piping bag. All right, let me move these away so I can. All right, so I'm going to start with the white. And this is usually how I would do my dirty pour. The only addition we have now is the blue pigment that I've added to the mix. All right, I'm going to cut a tiny tip off. Like that. All right, and then for this pour, normally I like for this mold to start on the outside, but I want to make sure that my spiral is far enough apart that I can have room for the other colors. So I am going to do a spiral pattern. And then I'll bring these in. With just a little white for each one of these. All right, so that is our white. I'm going to look to see on any of these ends if I have a blob. You can just pull it out if I do. Because anytime you pick up and start over, there's a chance you'll get a blob. All right, let's get a hustle on it. We don't want bloom to completely spread without getting our other items in there. I'm just going to pull this out of the cup. I was going to do that one next, but I think I will do the mica powder next. Oops. Better put that in its cup. All right. All right, now I'm doing basically the same thing I just did. And because it's already spreading, I may not have a ton of room for this, but I know basically where I'm going, where I need to go. And if it overlaps, it overlaps. Actually, I want to do one on the outside too. I'm not worried so much about the mica powder doing blobbies. It tends not to, unless it's super heavy. So if I have big drops at the end, it's not a big deal. And you could see my white is already spreading, so it is going to give me a little bit of trouble getting my colors in. All right, there's the green or aqua duo. All right, let's get this blue going now. This is the real test color. And it may just bloom because it's intermixed with all these other colors, and I'm completely okay with that. Oh, might be pouring a little too much there. Trying to go a little faster now. Oops, I got a drop there. This didn't quite thicken up as much as the other, so I might need to pull those a little, because I think this is going to behave like more like white, and it may blob, but we'll see. I don't really know. This is the first time that I'm doing this, so I'm not really sure, and I'm sort of all over the place, aren't I? Did that one on the inside, that one on the outside. That's all right. It's going too fast and not thinking about it. All right, for my design, I think I'm just gonna go with the shape of the mold. So I'm gonna do outs. I said I had that blob. Let's pull the blobs. The blobs of the blue. Let's give them a little nudge. Oop, nudged that one a little far, didn't I? All right. All right, now I'm gonna do my ends, and I'm gonna do a little wiggly. Little wiggly. And this is my last one, so I usually take that one and do this little swirl. I don't mess around with the center a lot. You do that, you have a tendency to ruin it, and then you have to put something over top of it to hide it. But that being said, I am going to put some bits and bobs in the center, and this is one of my cups. If you watch my other videos, I just slowly get them going over time because I don't use all of them, and then I'll got a lot of bobs in that. All right, and now just gonna hopefully get the center. Ooh, I had a lot there, didn't I? Just checking to see if I think I'm centered well enough. And I think that I might be. All right. Now I am going to give it a little hit of heat. Now I love this mold, so I'm not going to go close to the edge. I'm afraid I will burn it. But usually with craft resin, it's a 1-to-1 resin, it debubbles on its own. Did I tell you I use craft resin? Now I can't remember. So anyway, I will probably bring you back to do the next step. All right, we're back. I mixed up some resin to back this with. I just did resin malachite. How do you say that? Somebody tell me. So that's a very pretty green, but I wanted to blacken it up. So I put 4 drops of Liquitex acrylic ink carbon black in it, and I ended up with this. And now I'm just gonna pour it in and back it and hope that we pick the right color. All right. There we go. It's all in. At this point I was stirring like a mad woman, so I'll hit this with heat. I'll either do my torch or my heat gun because I don't have anything I have to worry about messing up. Or I could even spritz it with a little alcohol spray since my mold isn't overfilled. We'll be back to unmold. All right, let's see how the experiment came out. Oh, wow, look at that. That is gorgeous. I do think the blue did bloom if you look at some of the edges. That worked out really cool.